everybody, how's it going? If you're new here, welcome. Today we'll be looking at the COMICA EJoy Uni S microphone they just released. This is going to be one of their economy microphones, but it may not sound so economy as we'll check out here later. But we're going to see what comes in the box, what you get with it, how everything performs, and everything about it. So guys, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. All right, and here we go. The COMICA EJoy Uni S RGB cardioid condenser USB microphone for multiple devices. We do have RGB, USB-C, a collapsible stand built in. And of course, on the other side, we will see some gain controls, headphones, with more tech specs we'll go over here in just a bit. Here on the back, we do have some of those other specs, such as the 24-bit recording, the AI denoiser, and some of the other ones here. Now, of course, with all those specs, we do have to go a little bit more in depth, which let's go ahead and go into the tech specs, and let's talk about all the extra goodies this thing's come with. And we'll start off with the 48,000 hertz with the 24-bit recording. Pretty standard these days, but does create for a good quality. We do have the gain control knob straight on the front to adjust the sensitivity for real-time monitoring as well, with a 3.5mm jack on it. We do have the CalMix AI denoiser, and that's rights requested for it. Their denoiser algorithm that's built into the mic. This will help keep down the background noise or sounds. We do have RGB, which we have a couple different modes, not too many, but it is for selectable, breathing, dynamic, audio dynamic, and then the COMICA orange. Wish there was just straight up RGB, because I love me a good G for some green, but that's not an option here. The frequency response rate is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Of course, it is a USB-C plug and play, and this works with your smartphone, either variant, tablets, and your computer. We do have the magnetic stand. It is pops right out. It's great. It's easy, and you can also pop up the microphone itself and adjust it in multiple angles. And then built into it, they do have the anti-spray or pop sponge that's built in to help with the plosives or the air puffs when you say certain words, such as P, and you have all that air coming out, keeps those out of the way. So it has built in. You could get possibly a windscreen to go on top, but then that would negate the effects of the RGB, but that's okay. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far, feel free to drop a follow, drop a like, and if you have any comments or any questions, drop them in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. If there's something that I don't test here in the video that you want more clarification or for me to check out, I'll get back to you in the comments about that. So feel free to ask me about any product on the channel as well. Just let me know. And with that out of the way, for all the tech specs, let's go ahead and go back to the main video and let's unbox this thing. All right, let's go ahead and continue to unbox this thing. Right on top, we do have the manual and its own little sleeve. We have the microphone and the built-in stand and its own little baggie as well. And then the USB cable to go along with it. Now, we do have a little snack pack, little goodie. We love it when they give us snacks on a trip, but please don't. It's not really don't eat it. It even says don't eat it. It's not poisonous, but don't eat it. But we'll go ahead and put this back on. And we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. And let's go ahead and see what we get. First off, we're going to open up that USB cable and see what kind of cable we get, because some of them are just slightly different. And in this case, we're going to get one of the good ones. We're going to get the USB-C to USB-C with a built-in USB-A adapter, which is why this works with every type of smartphone, and the PC to go along with it. Next, we'll go ahead and check out the manual and the extra little goodies that come with it. Go ahead and rip this thing open. We do have a couple cards in here. We have the QR code, which if you guys want to scan that, feel free to pause and scan, but this will just take you to their website, and you can check out the manual. If you lose yours, you can scan that code. We have the COMICA logo here, if it'll focus, and we do have that quality assurance here for the QC, and knowing that it passed. We have the warranty card, And if you guys want to fill that out, you absolutely can. And gives you a little bit of details about the warranty. Now, first off, we do see some staples on this thing. Love it. Big thumbs up. It's a booklet. Makes things a whole lot easier. Right in here at the front, we do have those main features yet again that was on the back of the box, and the name. Them, of course, they're asking us, and thank you, giving us a good, warm welcome. And we do have some info here about how to adjust the settings inside of Windows for the sensitivity, and some warnings. Everything that it comes with. The different buttons, what they do, the extendable neck, and, of course, the front and back of everything. We have the colors, what everything does, whether if you're in denoise mode, regular mode. Here's more on the adjustments. And then we have the adapter here for everything it plugs into, so pause that if you want to see your orientation. And then we have those tech specs here along with that, which we have the 20 to 20,000 hertz, which is great, which is pretty standard. It pretty much comes with most microphones, but it depends how well that sounds, which we'll check out here later. But first, we got to get this thing out of the bag. There we go. And it has the stand. It's built in. So, unfortunately, you can't take it off, but it also is always going to be on it. Now, right here on the front, we do have the light for the RGB button. And right here, we're going to pull this out. It's a little tough to pull out. And these just magnetically stay together, or they just fall down. It's a little bit harder to get it there, and you can push down and make sure it's secure. This is not a button on top. It's just for the logo. If you pick it up, the legs immediately go back in. Pivot, tilt, do whatever you need to do with that to get it in the right angle. And then, of course, you just push it right back down. It, again, is a little stiff on that to move it up and down, but it's not going to accidentally do it. That's for sure. Now, we'll go ahead and check out that RGB here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cable undone. And let's go ahead and check out the RGB here. All right, got this plugged in. We got the blue light, and we do have the RGB kicking it off. Now, it is reactive to your voice. Now, if you change it, again, there's only 4 modes. This is just going to be the orange. And they do have some breathing effects and some switch in between. We'll go ahead and turn off the light here, and so we can see that a little bit better. It's not the brightest RGB, but it is still there. We can go ahead and have a little bit of these colors moving around, tapping it just to make sure these weren't reactive all the way through. But then you do get the reactive ones, and then back to the orange COMICA. See, we got the green here, but it won't stay. So I was a little sad about that. And there we go. You got 2 notches it goes up, and you can get that a little bit higher. Doesn't twist. You can only go forwards and backwards. But once you pop the feet out and you get it pushed down, it's got some pretty good grip to it. It's not going to really move all too much. We'll go ahead and unplug this since we saw the RGB and get this back into position. Get a better look here on the back. Here's that 3.5 millimeter jack if you want to monitor while using it. And then that USB-C right there on the back. And some serial number information that you probably don't need. It's got a neat design right here on the front for the windscreen as well, with that foam that's inside there to help with the plosives and the airflow. It kind of primes itself here to have like a touch sensitive button on the top. That may be something for maybe an upgraded, maybe a pro model later on. But with that out of the way, we've seen what it all comes with. We've seen what comes in the box. So let's go ahead and do the testing here for the microphone so we can see how it sounds, because that's the most important thing. So let's go ahead and hop on over. First, we're going to start off here. We got the PD400X. This is the normal mic you've been hearing this entire time, and this is our baseline. So let's go ahead and swap over to the mic test, and let's see how it is. All right, and for the EJoy Uni S, we're going to start off here with it raw. This is just me talking straight into it. Not too bad. It's actually very clear. Very clear audio coming through. Not a lot of background noise being picked up. Now, this is in the normal setting. Next, let's go ahead and, if you do somehow hear any room noise here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the AI reduction. And we're going to see if that has any effect whatsoever. Okay, now this is with the noise reduction turned on. We have a little green light on here, so that is with that. Changes maybe just ever so slightly on the voice, but if you, depending on how much room noise you have, this could be a huge help to you.
But overall, for me, it doesn't really change too much, and I would rather just have it off and use something like SteelSeries, which we're going to try next, to remove any background noise, but also enhance the audio. So let's check that out. Okay, and this is with SteelSeries Sonar. This brings back those lows quite a bit, and actually really rounds out the audio there. It's not bad. It's really clear, and I'll be honest with you, for the price range of this being 30 to 40 bucks, depending on what sales and pricings that's going on, it's really not that bad. The RGB is pretty good on it. As far as that goes, it's a little wonky sometimes, but as far as pure raw quality, because you don't need the RGB on if you don't want it, and you do get a little bit of that noise reduction, this is honestly really good, really clear. Is it the most deep for, male voices when it comes to that, picking it up like the normal mic for the PD that you normally hear? Maybe not so much. And depending on how far away you have it, it may change how things sound. And depending on if you have it a little bit closer, it might sound a little bit better. But overall, just in general, this is not too bad. And this will definitely work and do very well. And with minimal improvements needed with SteelSeries, which always is a good option to enhance the quality. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop back to the rest of the video and let's see what else we got.
All right, next we're going to go into the weight. We're going to see how this thing holds up to what they say in the manual. They say it's 206 in the manual, so let's go ahead and check out the weight, and let's see how accurate that is. Now we'll go ahead and get this thing turned on, and to my amazement, this is probably the most accurate we've ever seen. It is 206, and it says it's 206 in the manual. These guys absolutely nailed it. Usually it's a little bit higher. Sometimes it's a little bit lower, which is bad. But you know what? They did a great job here. It is right on the money. Next, we're going to check out the sound test, just so you can hear how loud and clicky these buttons are. We've pressed them, we've done them, but you haven't been able to hear them. But let's go ahead and pull up the sound meter so you can see how loud they are. My room noise typically stays about 33, 35 for it. And it's really not moving much at all. It's bumping up a few decibels, but really not much. Most of it comes from the clicks on changing it up and down, so you will hear a couple clicks, and that gets up into the 60s if you clank it down. But most part, you're only going to see maybe 5, maybe 6 decibels on that. And so it in itself, not too bad. But we'll go ahead and go into the testing so you guys can hear, now that we've seen what it does for the levels. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to where you guys can hear those clicks. All right, and now that you've heard it, you've heard how it sounds, you've heard how I sound through it, you've heard everything in between, you've seen what it comes with, so we're going to have to call that good, and that's the COMICA EJoy Uni S. If you guys want to check it out, link for it will be down in the description below. If you, again, have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to test them out or get back to you in the comments section down below. And honestly, it sounded great. For 30 to 40 bucks, these microphones are getting out of control. And COMICA usually comes out swinging from the side. They're not necessarily the biggest name you've ever heard of. But at the same time, they usually come out swinging really hard with a really good mic. And no matter if it's wireless, we have some other stuff on the channel for some other videos. You want to check those out. But this one being on the more budget-friendly side, I would absolutely recommend this as long as you don't need a boom arm. The stand is the only thing that I find a little off-putting, I'll say, only because you can't remove it. I mean, theoretically, you could undo the screw and you could do that, and I'm sure you could probably find something that it could mount to, but it's not standard, and so I think that's the only feedback that I could give is maybe if there was a way to engineer it to where that stand could come off, but still keep the same mechanism, but it could come off and mount to another boom arm or something like that, to where One, if it breaks, it could be used somewhere else, or if someone just doesn't want to use it on the desk in front of them and they have a boom arm like I do, or many others do, you could swap it out. That's my only critique there for COMICA, so I would love to see maybe a pro model where that might happen, along with maybe some more RGB with it, more gamery. But other than that, I think it's a great pickup. You can't really go wrong with it, especially at the price point that it is and how good it sounds. But again, that's all for this video. If you guys like it, please do so. Like the channel, like the video, do all the things. And until the next one, I'll see you soon.